I think there are two things in my life that also changed my life a lot. And they were tools that I learned in college, which is probably the only two things I learned in college. The phrase just for today, again, it came from Abraham Lincoln, but I would have this running monologue in my head about how awful I was and stupid and ugly and dumb. And so I would say to myself in the morning, just for today, and I would have something to just for today, I could be happy, or just for today, I'm not going to tell myself anything negative.
Mm.
Um, it can be anything you want it to be, but you stick to it for the day. And suddenly you have erased some of that bad message. It's still there if you need it. It's in your toolkit. Tell yourself what a shit you are. But the toolkit then begins to contain other things like I'm good at this, or people like me, or the thing I had to tell myself is I love you, Annie. I forgive you. I made lots of mistakes and did a lot of stupid things, never on purpose. So I get his pass for that. But then the other thing I learned in school that changed everything was the 12 rules of dirty fighting.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. So all my life, people would keep score and call names and just amazing things that people would use as tools to control you or make you feel less or try to make you feel less. And once I realized, especially the keeping score, somebody else start in about, well, you did this or you did that, or one upmanship, like, well, you did that, but then what did I, whatever. And that just changed everything for me because I
mm.
realized I'm not a person that really thinks like that naturally,
Yeah.
even though I have been through hell and tortured and all the things that I have the right to be angry or whatever, but it's not who I am. And that's part of why I was punished. So when I started to see that, it also helped me to make different relationships with people and also to stand up for myself. I know whenever Jay does something where he sort of starts to one up, like it's a competition, I'll be like, it's not a competition.
Mm.
You're great. I accept that. I adore you. No worries. But I did do this one thing, and yay for me.
Yeah.
Don't try to take it away, bud, because I ain't giving it up. So this has been a fun. I love telling stories. I have a million of them. But
Mm.
I think these are the key stories that actually form the framework for how I got to where I am today.
Mm.
And I will say, I spent the first 30 years of my life being really deathly ill and almost dying several times because of the way I was treated or because of um, how I dealt with how I was treated.
Mm.
And I would say since I was 50, since I turned 50, which is quite a while ago, um, that every year I have been healthier and happier. And this year I turned 75
Mm.
and I feel the healthiest and happiest that I've ever been. Every day I feel happy. And I announce it. I feel happy today. And it's not like an ecstatic kind of happy, it's a contentment kind of happy that
Yeah.
I feel like I'm relevant in my life and my work. I just came back from city council meeting that I got invited to attend
Hmm.
to talk about the work that I'm doing. At first, I really didn't want to do it because I thought, they don't care about neighborhoods and they don't care about potlucks
Mm.
and I talked about when the hailstorm came and everything. And so now they want me to come back and talk about what I think neighborhoods should look like in
Mm.
terms of how people connect and what they could do.
Yeah.
So now I have my foot in the door and it's really fun. So it's been a joy to just share some of this, but I think I said this before. It
Mm.
was such a long, hard reshaping
Mm.
and letting go of many, many things and people and pivoting 5 times now in my life. I hope this is the last one. Um, Jay says I'm going to live to be 100, so if it might not be the last one, we might have to move again to a smaller house or something. But anyway, I feel like the way that I have rebuilt my life and the stories I'm telling here are all things that people can do every day in their life. And the people I love most in this world are exactly like that, where they just say, this is what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
And and then somehow we all support it, whether it's even just thinking every night, I'm thinking of you and hoping that life is good for you, whatever that is. We know that energy exists. When you look at plants, how when they study plants or ice, and they put it in an environment where there's all this yelling and bad words, and then they have other plants in a different setting where there's lovely music and people being kind, and looking at how that body, the nervous system, and the brain is reacting to that, we know that that vibration, whatever you want to call it, exists. It's
Mm.
not about God, it's about energy, it's about what's floating through the air and the ethos and whatever.
Mm.
So we are what we put out there
Yeah.
to each other. So so thank you for giving me good vibes.
Oh, of course. I love giving you good vibes. I appreciate that you're sending them to me as well.
Oh yeah, no, I do it all the time.
Do you have anything else that you want to say about why you have to just like let things happen sometimes? You are a really interesting character in that you are always like pursuing what you want, but there's also these moments of like great luck. How do you think that the like actively going after what you need and what you want kind of falls in together with the serendipity in order to make a future possible and make a better world possible?
I think it comes down to one thing. You have goals.
Mm,
And every year, for most of my adult life, I have made a list of goals. And we also, in our business, have a list of goals. We start putting that together in June for the next year.
mhm,
And my goals are rooted in the economics of happiness, where I talked about this just a little bit ago about how I transport myself, my spiritual practice, my friends, my family interaction, my access to education and information. So Fox News would not be on that list. And I'm serious. So you not only make the list, but you also make sure there are things that are not eroding that list, like bad information or hate, or if you want to focus on people who are unkind, then what's in it for you? Because wow,
yeah.
there better be an end game there that you're real clear that you're going to get to, because it will erode you to the point where you probably won't get there. So having these goals, and and again, not being so locked in, they are a tool, they are a guide that you put in your toolbox.
Mm,
And it might take a long time, it might not be this year. Things happen, the economy, somebody dies, you get sick, you break your leg, you have to learn to walk again.
mhm,
um, but if I have those goals, which when people look at the life I have today versus the life I had 2 years ago, the only thing that is different is, well, I think my balance might be actually better, but the I'm not living on 38 acres.
mm,
So I began a year and a half ago to begin to transfer from 17 buildings and 38 acres the things I needed to do the same work here
mhm,
on a 30 by 70 lot. That was the original space. And now I have two 30 by 70 lots, and I have five other yards that are 30 by 70 yards. So I'm doing the same work. I'm investing. I reinvented the League of Extraordinary Girl Scientists. We'll see how that goes. We
mhm.
did a little sample project this summer, and we'll see. So it's goals, and it's being very clear about who I am,
Yeah.
and I have a moral bottom line. So I never do anything for money just for the sake of the money.
Mhm.
I I will do lots of things that don't pay money because I was going to do them anyway. But if they can pay money, I don't have any problem negotiating that.
Mhm.
So it's all things that are in this toolkit, but the toolkit is full of your promises to yourself, which are your goals. And they are focused on those specific areas. And if you look up the economics of happiness, Helena Norberg. She has another name. Anyway, she's so brilliant, and she coined that phrase, and that's been her study that she's done with people in the Nepal region.
Mm,
And I also try every morning when I wake up, this is my time to think.
mm,
And I imagine myself that I have a bowl and the bowl is empty. What is the food I will put in this bowl today, emotionally and physically? So I might be going out to lunch. Okay, I'm not going to lunch. So what is it I would like to feed myself and my family for lunch? And then what are the other things? I have appointments, which have had too many lately. So I get run over by appointments or forget because I'm distracted by my employees. Um, but what's in that bowl? And maybe today, the last month has been a nap
mm-hmm.
because I've needed it. So, but again, isn't that goals? Isn't that bowl holding my virtual plan? So if you don't do that, society and this culture will rob you
Yeah.
of all of it because you get so busy. The busyness I have right now is laying down the groundwork for where I intend to be for the rest of my life.
Mm,
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people wanting to connect with me, which is amazing and
mm,
unbelievable. But it helps me to feel relevant. You know, as I say, I'll be 75 this year. If you read everything about being 74, 75, I should be ready to croak. No, I'm hauling hay bales and rocks and planting things and going to city council meetings and raising a ruckus. And, that's where we should be. But if you don't have goals, you're not going to get there. You
yeah.
might have some serendipity in your life, but you probably won't even see it when it smacks you in the face.
I love the imagery that you've created with both the bowl of like, what do you need to sustain yourself on any given day, and the toolbox of like, how do I add to the toolbox? Sometimes by taking out tools. Uh,
Yes,
I think
you
that's
don't
really,
need them. I do think sometimes people hang on to stuff, behaviors like the dirty fighting tricks and things like that.
mhm.
Um, and I just tell people, well, they're still in your toolkit. You
Yeah.
can pull them out anytime you want. I had a guy that came to work for me when I was trying to get the house ready for the appraisal, and he was a horrible, horrible human being.
Mm,
And I should have known it right up front. Well, I did, and I ignored it.
mhm.
And he did some really bad things. But you know what? My toolbox still has some shit in it. And I said to him, you don't ever want to say my name on those lips again, because if you do, you will be so fucking sorry. You will get your tiny white ass in that truck and you will drive down that lane and I will never see you again. He said, go to hell. I said, well, we'll see who goes first.
Dang.
And
Oh,
the women that work for me, they're all standing there with their mouths open. And there was a woman visiting who was doing some repair work with me on the front of the house. And Deborah kept saying, we've worked for her for 2 years. We've never heard her have that tone of voice or say anything like that to anybody ever. If anything's wrong, that is not how she responds. That guy's evil and she is not letting him have any break. But it was so funny because they kept saying to the woman, really, she's not like this. If you work for her, you'll be so happy because she's not like this. But that toolbox is still sitting there. I
yeah.
know what to do to take care of me and the people around me and my animals. And I am completely prepared to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to close the door.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good, but wow, feels better later
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, thank you so much again. I always love talking to you. Your stories are so insightful, and I love again the imagery of the bowl and the toolkit. And I think I will carry that with me, especially as I'm going into grad school and dealing with various stressors. And I hope that other people will as well, after, hearing that from you. So, yes, I'm always wishing you well and putting good energy into the world for you.
That's
Um,
great. I need it.